Classic Credits, we are spotlighting a game I've been going back and forth on whether I wanted to cover Aliens, the arcade game. I wanted to do something to honor the release of Prometheus, the new Ridley Scott film that takes place in the universe of the Alien franchise. I didn't think Aliens was particularly rare, but when I did some research on it and I asked around to some of my fellow gamers, most of them don't recall this classic. So here we go Aliens. Aliens was released to the arcades in 1990 by Konami. Konami had already released two Alien-inspired titles, Contra in 1987 and Super Contra in 1988, so this is their take on the series proper. Aliens is somewhat of a retelling of the James Cameron classic. Your main hero is a Ripley look-alike. Player 2 looks like a space marine. You must make your way through the facility on LV-426, save the survivors, and kill the alien threat. Gameplay is a little different than most side-scrolling shooters. The game takes place on a mixture of levels that have some depth, giving you a full range of motion, and some are restricted to just moving left and right. You can't jump in this game, instead you have two fire buttons, a high and a low. You have to decide quickly which height that you want to fire at because some enemies can only be hit by the low fire. There are power-ups that you can receive for your gun. Homing missiles, 3-bullet shot, 3-way shot, the flamethrower, and you also get to use power loaders. Aliens also has some levels that take place as you ride atop of the APC. These levels, you just shoot the aliens as they're coming at you in your best attempt to keep them off of the APC. You have a limited number of shots that the APC can do to clear your path ahead if you see too many enemies headed your way. Aliens the arcade game is sort of a Gremlins 2 of the series, and I mean this in the very best possible way. Most don't seem to notice that Alien 3 established on screen for the first time that aliens differ depending on their host. This was also expanded upon in comics and other works, but this was the first time that I remember this concept being done explicitly, as this game predates Alien 3 by 2 years, and Alien vs. Predator comics, which also had this premise, which first was published in 1991. This game contains a very large variety of soldier and boss aliens, and it usually adds at least one new type per stage, which keeps things very interesting. Aliens also makes clever use of one of the most suspenseful storytelling devices in the movie, the motion detector. Certain parts of this game do not let you see where the aliens will be coming from. You have to rely on the motion detector to get a heads up on where they will be attacking you from. The sound design for Aliens is great. They did an awesome job in trying to simulate the sound effects of the movie as good as they possibly could with the hardware capabilities. The soundtrack for Aliens is also fantastic. Konami hardly ever fails to deliver with a good soundtrack. The soundtrack was done by Masanori Adachi, who also did such scores as Castlevania 4, Contra 3, Axlay, Russian Attack, and Suikoden, and other great titles from Konami. Aliens was the first and only Aliens officially licensed arcade game by Konami. Sega released Alien 3 The Gun in 1993, and Capcom released the most excellent Alien vs. Predator in 1994. This game has never had a home release, but there were other Alien-related games released for just about every system and computer. In fact, none of the Alien licensed arcade games have ever gotten home releases. So if you're interested in Aliens, which is a fantastic game, you would need to find an actual machine or possibly emulate it through MAME. The game came out in 1990, which was one of the dips in arcade popularity, so the number of these machines was somewhat low, but you should be able to find one. There were about 360 arcade machines made, and I do remember many arcades, and especially movie theaters of the time, had this game in their possession. Once again, thank you for watching Classic Credits. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and subscribe, tell people about it, try to get the hits up, and hope to see you next time where I'll show you a game that you may have forgotten or never even heard about.